The girl in the tower didn't ask for magic hair. She asked for a vegetable. Before there was a Disney princess, before there was a movie at all, there was a story about a woman who stole from a witch's garden and paid for it with her daughter. This is the version they don't put in picture books. It starts in Italy, over 400 years before Grimm ever wrote a word. The tale's called Petrozinella, Little Parsley. A pregnant woman craves greens growing in a sorceress's garden. She's caught. Yet the fuse got. The moment's on later, and the price isn't gold. It's the child, the moment she's born. That's the real bargain at the center of this story. Not a curse, a debt. By the time the brothers Grimm get hold of it in 1812, the vegetables changed. Now it's rampion, a bitter root. But the deal stays the same. The witch, Dame Gothel, takes the baby and raises her in total isolation. No school, no friends, no other human face. Just one woman, one room, and a tower with no door. Historians who study this tale point to something uncomfortable. Towers like this weren't only fiction. Anchorites, mostly women, were walled into cells attached to churches for life, sometimes voluntarily, sometimes not, cut off from the world as a form of devotion or punishment. Confinement of women was not a fantasy invented for children. It was a lived practice. And the hair? That's not just a fairy tale flourish. In the original telling, it's the only way in or out. No stairs, no door. Just let down your hair, because Gothel designed it that way. She didn't build a tower to keep danger out. She built it to keep one specific person in. Then the prince climbs up. And in Grimm's first edition, not the softened version you've heard, Rapunzel doesn't just meet him, she gets pregnant. Gothel finds out when Rapunzel's clothes stop fitting. That detail was quietly removed from later editions. The witch cuts her hair, banishes her to the wilderness, and when the prince climbs up expecting his lover, Gothel is waiting instead. He falls. Thorns blind him. Years pass. He wanders, blind, until he hears her voice again. Her tears, this part they kept, restore his sight. Psychologists have a name for what the tower represents. Some read it as an extreme symbolic account of a controlling parent who mistakes control for love, isolating a child under the guise of protection. Whether or not that was the intent in 1812, it's why the story still unsettles us. It's not really about magic hair. It's about a girl who never got to choose her own walls. So the next time you hear, "let down your hair," remember what it actually meant. Not a rescue fantasy, but a lock with no key, built by someone who called it love. The Grimms cleaned up a lot of their stories over the years. This is one of the ones you were never supposed to read in its original form. If stories like this interest you, the real folklore behind the fairy tales, that's exactly what this channel does. Subscribe if you want more.